Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Lifestyle Gardener. Today I am going to try to make a homemade wine with the chokecherry and apples. I did many research about how to do wines, and there's many different ways to do it, many different techniques to do it. Some is very professional, some is very ghetto. I actually want to start trying different ways of making wine. So my first experiment is to make wine without yeast or without any special equipment. And then I ordered some equipments to help me to assist on making wines. I tried to order the ferment starter for wine, but unfortunately they don't deliver to where I live, so I'm gonna have to maybe try to make a homemade starter of making wine. But this is part one of making wine, so stay tuned and I'll show you some of the process that I did to making the wine. So I start off by opening the bottle with the chokecherry and the apples, and beside it I have a bottle of water. It's bottled water in there. I'm going to use my hand blender and blend up the apples with the chokecherry. After blending them up, I remove the hand blender, and I'm just trying to remove the pulp from the blender and inside the blender with a chopstick. Maybe you guys can come up with a better way of doing that. Yeah, this hand blender is pretty new to me. I actually had another hand blender, and when I was moving, I don't know how I misplaced it, but I can't find it, so I just recently ordered this one, so I'm struggling to open it, which is really funny to me. So afterwards I decided to pour the water in the bottle. And pour it around the hand blender to remove more of the pulp also. I always say it's good to know how to do something more than one ways, just in case if you don't either have the tools or you're not in the same situation of making the item. So I'm always open to learn different ways to do things. Because I have fruit flies, every time I go through a different process, I have to cover up the container, because if the fruit flies get inside the container, it could ruin the wine. So that's why I keep covering it up between times. So I decided to put about 1 cup of sugar, but later on you will see that I put more than 1 cup of sugar inside the container, because you need to have enough sugar so that the natural heat from the air can feed on the sugar. So I pour out some of the water in the metal pot, so it's easier for me to stir the water and sugar together. So that's why I did that. Please like and subscribe. Then I pour back the water inside the bottle. I pour more water in the pan to remove more of the sugar so I can put it in the bottle. So afterwards, I do that. I stir the pulp with the water inside the bottle. I take the chopstick and I try to remove any pulp that is stuck on the bottle inside. I put the plastic lid on the bottle, and then I put the date and the bottle of when I make it. So afterwards I realized I need more water, so I decided to put it in a 1-gallon bottle and put more water in there with 1 more cup of sugar, because it's diluted if I put water in there. So that's what I'm doing here. So basically in the end I just put 3 cups of sugar. So for 1-gallon bottle you need 3 cups of sugar. So basically that's what I did. So I pour more water in the 1-gallon bottle. And then I stir the sugar and the water together. So I take the bottle with the pulp and I pour it in the 1-gallon bottle. Then I stir the water with the pulp together. Look at that, how the pulp was like that. It was like a big old ball together. So I had to use a spoon to break up the pulp a little bit. Then I put more water in the bottle, and then I stir it some more afterwards. Afterwards, I got a fabric and I covered up with rubber band around it, and I'm going to leave it on my counter in the kitchen for a few days before I remove the fabric. Please do not use water from the tap unless you're going to boil it and let it stay for a few days. It's very important. You can also filter the water, but they recommend you using water from the bottle, not the tap water. This was like 2 days afterwards. You can see that it's not very attractive right now. I'm going to take the bottle and pour it into a plastic strainer. The holes are too big, so I got one of those produce bag. I'm hoping it's made from plastic, and I'm going to strain the pulp through the plastic strainer and through the plastic produce bag. It will be better if you have a big large plastic strainer with smaller holes, but it's very hard to find that on the island, so I have to use what I have at this moment. The holes are small, but they're not small enough. After the wine is ready, I am going to strain it again with into a fabric material inside the plastic strainer that I have. I think you guys will see how what kind of plastic strainer I'm talking about. It's the one that you use to strain out vegetables when you're washing it. So the holes are too big, so that's why I have to use a produce bag and the funnel to do this. Sometimes you have to work with what you have. It's very important not to use anything that is metal once anything that you're making is fermented or is fermenting. You cannot use anything that's metal, so all of the stuff that I'm using is glass and plastic to do this. Then I'm gonna take the liquid and pour it in the bottle using the funnel. The funnel is very useful to prevent less mess. If I didn't have the funnel, I'd be creating more mess right now when I'm pouring it. And whether or not you drink wine, it is very important to have the skill of how to make wine from scratch. You can use it in cooking, and you could also give it to somebody that drink wine, or you can trade it for some other thing, that if another person has something else that you need. There's so many uses for it out there. I don't really drink wine that often. I only drink it maybe once in a blue moon. But in Jamaican black cake, it's called to use some form of alcohol in it. So if you can make your own alcohol, that'd be very good. It will help to save you money to make your own homemade black cake. So after wiping down the rim, I make sure I leave a gap between the lid and the bottle so the yeast could naturally grow without overflowing. And then I got the label and I put it back onto the bottle so I know when I made the wine. Then I removed the lid and I got a Ziploc bag, and then I got a pin and made a small hole in the Ziploc bag to allow the air to escape, but not allowing the air from going inside. If the opening of the bottle was smaller, I would have used balloon to do this instead of the Ziploc bag. So you can see that there's bubbles forming with white bubbles forming inside. This is after 2 days. Yesterday there was actually it was actually more active. So that is a good sign to see that the gas is building up inside, and that is happening. So when it stops bubbling, they say that you can strain it. You can strain it and remove any extra particles that is inside, but it's best to wait at least 1 month before you drink it. And if you can wait up to 3 months, it will be more better. So the bubbles is slowing down, so pretty soon it might be ready for me to drink it if I maybe want a mild alcohol content, I guess. But I think you have to leave it at least for 1 month before you drink it, or up to 3 months. So it's really up to you. I will show you the next process that I decide to do once it stop bubbling. Okay everyone, I talk to you another day. Bye.